Ladies and gentlemen, it's Titoclock. So please welcome your host, James Deacon.
What's up, everybody? Hey, can you hear me? Because just put something up, June or Mayan, if you can hear me, because I've got something connected here. Chris, can you hear me? Just making sure. I need a thumbs up before I can continue. We are live also on Facebook as well, which is good. Okay, now let me just pop off because I think it's connected to the Bluetooth of my speaker. That's what I want to do. I want to unconnect this, turn off the Bluetooth. Here we go. All right, folks, it's a Friday. That means it is Titoclock, and I'm Tito James and the rest of the gang here, and we are live coming at you all the way till 6 p.m. tonight. We got a pretty big show for you. We got the normal goodies. We also got a couple of really cool raffles as well that I want to, that we want to do later on. But first things first. Thanks, June. I saw that. But first things first, let's get started with the latest in headlines, and then we can catch up with everything after that. But right now we need Chris. Chris, what you got for us, Chris?
What's up, Tito James? Happy Friday, my fellow Tito Clockers. This is Chris, and here is your Tito Clock news. The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council reported today that there are 17,510 families and 71,468 individuals affected by severe tropical storm Florita or Maon. Areas affected by Florita includes Ilocos Region, Cagayan Valley, Cordillera Administrative Region, Calabarzon, and Metro Manila. A total of 776 families remained inside evacuation centers, while 169 households continued to stay in the homes of relatives and friends. The death toll remained 3, while 4 people were injured. Florita, which left the Philippine area of responsibility on Wednesday, unleashed heavy rains and strong winds that triggered landslides and flooding and damaged crops. According to the NDRRMC, 33 damaged houses were reported in Ilocos Region, Cagayan Valley, and CAR. Cost of damage to agriculture was pegged at 3.4 million pesos, while the cost of damage to infrastructure in Ilocos Region and Cagayan Valley was pegged at 33.7 million pesos. The agency said 6.2 million peso worth of food packs, hygiene kits, and relief assistance have been provided to Florida-affected communities. Fair weather with cloudy skies and isolated rain showers are expected nationwide today, according to the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration, or PAG-ASA. Weather specialist Ezra Bulkerin said cloudy skies and scattered rain showers due to the intertropical convergence zone are expected in eastern Visayas. The rest of the country, including Metro Manila, will experience fair weather conditions with isolated rain showers and cloudy skies due to localized thunderstorms. The forecast temperature range in key cities today are as follows: Metro Manila at 25 to 34 degrees Celsius, Baguio at 17 to 22 degrees Celsius, Lawag 24 to 32 degrees Celsius, Tuguegarao 24 to 35 degrees Celsius, Legazpi 24 to 31 degrees Celsius, Puerto Princesa 26 to 31 degrees Celsius, Tagaytay 21 to 31 degrees Celsius, Iloilo 25 to 31 degrees Celsius, Cebu 24 to 31 degrees Celsius, Tacloban 26 to 31 degrees Celsius, Cagayan de Oro 24 to 30 degrees Celsius, Zamboanga 24 to 30 degrees Celsius, and Davao 25 to 32 degrees Celsius. 77-year-old Odette Aquitania Ricasa is claiming to have achieved what only a select few has been able to do: visit all the 195 countries in the world. On Thursday, Ricasa stepped foot in Kurdistan, Iraq, the last country she needed to complete the feat. Of the 195 countries in the world today, 193 are recognized by the United Nations, while 2 countries are non-member observer states, the Holy See and the State of Palestine. Before the pandemic, Ricasa was only 5 countries short of accomplishing her goal. She made it this year to Sudan, Chad, Central African Republic, Libya, and Iraq. Odette said that travel is learning and that everywhere she goes, locals have proven to be friendly and inviting time and time again. Ricasa is an icon traveler, being a member of the prestigious Travelers Century Club, whose members must have traveled to 100 or more countries. Odette Ricasa is an accomplished author, an artist, a motivational speaker, and a pianist with three children. EJ Obiena followed up his gold medal win in Germany earlier this week with a third place finish at the Wanda Diamond League in Lausanne on Thursday, early Friday morning, Manila time. Against the world record holder Mondo Duplantis, Obiena clinched the last spot on the podium with a best clearance of 5.80 meters in the meet. Duplantis had a subpar performance by his standards, only clearing 5.90 meters. Coming in second was USA's Christopher Nielsen, who needed only one attempt to clear 5.80 meters. Obiena needed two tries. Both Nielsen and Obiena failed their three attempts at 5.90 meters to give Duplantis the top spot. The Filipino pole vaulter continues his tough grind of the second half of the season with the True Athletics Classics in Leverkusen, Germany on Sunday, August 28th. Obiena has five more meets after the Switzerland TIFF lined up until the middle of September. The World Athletics Championships bronze medalist was recently reinstated to the Philippine national team. That's the latest in headlines. Brace yourselves for a bumpy ride as we head over to Kamote Corner.
Always gets me that one. Always gets me. Right in the mood. The wrong mood. Hey, Chris. Okay, let's go gentle now. Come on.
I don't know if we could be gentle. Because the first one is malabo. The first photo we're showing you is malabo.
Yeah, that's my
Malabo,
eyes.
the plate.
Hmm? Gosh, I thought those are my eyes. That's really like that.
Yes. It's not your eyes. It's the plate. You like
My
the plate?
like the cops, and they're probably, ano ba yan? Ano ba yan?
Basta meron.
Malabo talaga. Yeah. Pwede. Yeah, and it, oh gosh, I really can't see because it looks really, but is
No,
it
I
yapas?
tried to. I tried also, Tito
Is
James.
it like a weathered or parang sinadya na linagay ng bleach or something and steel
Um,
brush? Ano kaya?
Possibly, I don't know.
Hard to tell from this angle, but I mean, that's not an old car. I mean, it's what that Sorrento's probably, I'm guessing, 2003, 4, something like that.
Mhm.
I mean, I've seen cars older than that have plates far, 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 far clearer. So maybe,
True.
maybe sinadya talaga ang coding.
Maybe it's the cover. Pakiayos, please. Right, next. Viewer discretion is advised. This is a bike accident. Yeah. This is why I get scared of taking out my bike. But then,
Ay. Oh God, that's nasty. That's nasty.
yeah,
Is he okay, or is he or she is? Oh gosh.
not really sure because that's the only clip. There's
Oh
no
no.
fun.
Yeah. Oh God, can you see?
I mean, he just went forward.
Yeah, that's really bad. That's really bad.
Mhm.
Oh gosh, I have no idea. I can't see from this angle whether. Oh, that's terrible. Um,
Even the driver taking the video got scared.
yeah. Well, that's
It
that looks pretty bad. I mean, I'm just hoping that there's hitting a windscreen. Usually is actually can be, not always, but can be the safest way because there's give in the windscreen. It'll crack and it'll absorb. As long as you
right,
don't hit your head on it, that's the main problem. If he
and
hits his head on it,
he has a helmet on, so
does he have a
hoping
helmet?
he has a helmet on. So
Okay, well,
I'm hoping
then
he's quite safe. Maybe a little stiff neck after, a little
oh,
bruising,
okay.
possibly.
Let's just leave this as a message of if you're gonna ride, always wear your helmet, no matter how close and how
Yes,
far the ride is. Just always wear your helmet. This
true.
this this is something that I was asked just yesterday in an interview about riding, and they said, "What's one advice you can give?" Just one. I said, just always treat every ride the same, because every time, sometimes we go, okay, it's just 5 minutes, it's just around the corner, and that's when it
Yeah,
happens. So always put your helmet on. You never
true.
know. One fall like that, and that could have saved his life. Let's just hope
Yes.
it's okay.
Praying
Ah,
for his safety indeed. Woo!
yeah.
All right. Inhale, exhale. Okay. The next one is no plate riding in the rain. It took me a while. It took me a while to figure the photo out. But yeah, if you look closely,
Oh,
ayun.
okay. Police ba yan? Oh, that's
Not
an
sure na kung police or MMDA official.
yeah, it's some kind of authority or
Mhm.
enforcer. And what
Getting
I'm thinking,
confused na.
I really get this. This really gets my
Ah,
goat. Yeah, you know,
why, kuya?
yeah. Ah,
I thought
well,
it was the lack of of raincoat.
yeah.
Yun pala, it was the lack of license plate. So yeah, there you go. Okay, we're halfway there. The
Okay,
next one,
I'm pasting. I try
face.
to help the cats community.
Hey, all right. Next one, in Gandalf's words, you shall not pass.
Hey,
Here.
okay, not the kind of thing I was thinking of, but ooh, yeah, is another blocking the driveway type of thing. Blocking.
Yeah, and the whole street is unpassable.
So that's not traffic I'm looking at. That's like people are
No,
parked there.
it's parked. Yep.
Grabe naman.
Selfish ang neighborhood na ito.
Grabe. Rautas, I think I pronounced right, says that's a QC enforcer. Gunner, Routhouse Gunner says it's QC. Well, it really is
Oh,
like some kind of enforcer. Good PM, Jeffrey said. Authority
hello.
have a plate. Angel says, yes, we agree with you. And these people here, my goodness, I
Mm-hmm.
have no words. I have no words. I mean, like, what on earth do you say to people like this that can't have the brain cells to be able to know where to park and where not to park? But okay,
I mean,
fun.
we're just ordinary citizens and we know what's right and wrong. I don't know why
Kind
they
of
keep doing
frustrating. What if you have a medical emergency, no, and somebody's just parked in front of your garage like that?
that's true. Yes.
And
A little bit of common sense, people. Please use your garages.
stronger in
All
this.
right, inom.
Hmm.
Okay, last but not the least, Tito James. Ang daming problema sa world. Dumagdag pa sila. Let's look at the next one. Ang dami-dami na nating iniisip. Dumagdag pa. These signages.
Ano po yan?
Ang dami eh. Right lane must turn right. Do
Oh
not
God! Oh my
here.
God!
No
Yeah.
right turn on red signal. So
Right.
ano ba
Oh,
talaga?
ano ba talaga? Ang confusing, no?
I feel we've seen this a couple of times na rin. I think it's still the same area. Aurora.
And
Yeah.
talaga, when you tumadasal ka, Lord, give me a sign. I don't think you meant literally that many. No?
Lord, pahinging sign yung klaro kasi medyo tanga ako pero wala talaga. Wala pa rin.
Contradict.
Parang use your brain, my child.
Ay, nako.
Ako.
Oh,
All
okay,
right. That's all
made
we
it.
got today. Yes, we made it! Woo! Thank you so much, Tita James, and to the whole team and everybody here. Congratulations in advance to our raffle winners. And before I go, please be reminded to stay away from kamote people, but choose happiness instead with some Sugar Rush, who
Ah,
is on social media. So please do follow us at Sugar Rush Entertainment PH for your party entertainment needs. And it's scrolling right down there. Or you may shoot me a DM as well. My name is Chris Napeñas. Have a fabulous weekend, everybody. Stay safe, healthy, and hydrated. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.
bye. Slide into the DMs of Chris. Okay, but just for work, all right? Keep it clean, guys. Thanks, Chris, for the latest in headlines. And of course, our Kamote Corner, which I at least survive this time. Normally gets me all very high blood, but I tried to pace myself. Hope that guy's all right, the one with the bike, because nothing funny about that at all. So anyway, we've got, if you like Chris's voice and you want to, let's say, do a you've got a children's party, she does that, online parties as well, or voiceovers, pop her a message, slide her a DM, but make sure it's clean and for work. Okay, so that is the latest in headlines. Now we move over to our Ask Me Anything. We're doing a little bit of a light Titoclock today, so we're probably going to end a little bit earlier, but we won't be complete without an Ask Me Anything brought to you by Modalite, pang matagalan. Sorry, that music just kind of gets me into this kind of mood. All right, so that is the Ask Me Anything portion. X, what do you got there? And wow, geez, my eyes are really getting bad now. Hi, Sir James says same fuel consumption calculated using full fuel tank, fill up liters divided by the distance traveled. Yeah. Is it the same average fuel consumption calculated? All right. I'm not sure if there's context to this, so I'm just going to answer what the formula is. It's absolutely correct. What you do is you make sure that if you want to be very accurate about it, you make sure that you go to the same gas station if you can and fill up either to the top, or like I said, the first click, sometimes they might not be consistent, right? But it's still a good rule of thumb. It's still a good gauge, even if you just go to different gas station. Make sure that you fill it up, and then if you can fill it up to the top, drive for a while, and then from there divide when you fill it up again. Now I have to say a little disclaimer here, because when I say fill it up sagad, I don't normally advise people to do that, because when you fill up totally sagad all the way to the top of the tank, you know how they bring it all the way out and then they shake it, and they make it punong-puno. That's okay if you're driving long distance or you're gonna use up most of that gas. But if you, let's say, fill it up and then you're just going to go home, and home is only a couple of kilometers from the gas station, what can happen there is you don't leave any room for the gas to expand in the tank, and it will expand. It needs a little bit of room for that. So not necessarily the best of ideas, but having that disclaimer aside, try to be consistent with where you filled up, what point, and then divide the kilometers by the liters you use, and that should give you your liters per kilometer. Hope that answers that. Now, I don't know if this is context referring to my post, because I got a ton of messages for that with the Nissan Kicks, because a lot of people were very, very surprised with how much I got, how much I was able to get. That was done through the computer, so it wasn't a top up. It was done strictly from the trip computer of the Nissan Kicks. That was 32 kilometers, and the traffic was fairly light, but it was all city driving, but it was light. So it wasn't one of those heavy traffic days, but still going through the village, going through from Alabang to Makati, back. There was about 200 kilometers of it, and that was particularly good mileage at 32.5. Was very, very good mileage. I would just be cautious when I tell people that I really tried to get a good figure for that. I really was gunning for a nice figure. So I was driving very, very carefully, and I was using the e-pedal. That's the trick there. The e-pedal of the Nissan Kicks is what recharges your battery, so you don't use the gasoline engine. So if you're not going to be paying attention to the car and you're just driving normally, I don't think you'll be getting 32 kilometers in the city. That's just a little bit to put in the context, because, excuse me, I know 32 is a lot. So it can be done. I've done it. I do it a lot. I do it regularly now because I know how to use the e-pedal. But if you don't, and you're just sort of driving around like normal and not paying attention, probably safe to say about 19, 20 kilometers a liter in the city. But if you drive it like this and you play it like a video game, this is why I love the Nissan Kicks so much, is because I drive it like I'm playing. There's a gamification aspect to it, because you're seeing where the power is going. You can see these graphics on your dashboard, on the display, and it's showing you when you're using eco power, when it's coming from the engine, when you're charging the battery, when the e-pedal's doing it. and you can get really, really into it. I love it because it's just like I have this little game going on in my mind where I'm trying to raise the mileage. Like you get this range, and the range is a predicted range of how much you have left in your tank. And it starts, let's say, at, I think here it's 600 something. Okay, it starts at like, and it can go up because the more frugal you drive, the estimates get recalculated, and so you're actually extending your range. It's so much fun, so much fun. This car has been such a delight, and just to equal out the love, I still do adore my MG because a lot of people were also asking me about that. They were saying, "Oh, you talk about the kicks and I bet you only use that car." No, 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 I don't. I love the kicks so much because of how fuel efficient it is. I love the tech. I love the gamification, but I love the MG, especially on longer drives. It's a bigger car, bigger, more comfortable seats, little bit more kit inside, a little bit better materials, a little bit more feeling of a premiumness in the MG HS Trophy. So two different cars for me, two completely different personalities, and I love both just the same for different reasons. Hopefully, wait. What's this? What does Art say? There is a correct formula, and that's include idle when engine runs, stop and go. All of them are all calculated. Fill up to the brim near the breather hole. Yep, that works. Works for me too. Okay, next up here. Thanks for zooming that in. So, James, question: we sold our old car, but the buyer did not transfer or register under his name, and now we received a letter of speeding in NLX when we are heading in the south. How do we go about this? Well, um, first thing, I wouldn't do anything because if they didn't transfer the guy's name, it should affect only your. It should affect just the registration of the car. Now, if for any reason that it affects the registration of the driver's license, like renewal, you have to bring the documentation in. Just bring the documentation to the LTO when you're renewing your license, just in case they say, "Hey, this is an outstanding fine. You can't renew your license until that this is fixed." As long as you can show them that you have a deed of sale, an assigned deed of sale, and all the paperwork is complete, well, then the burden lies on the new buyer. So that's how I would handle that. Next. Next. I did it, James. I know that vehicles are not allowed to block a house driveway, but there's similar law of traffic when it comes to man gates. It's a smaller gate of a house meant for a person passenger. Someone always parks in front of our small gate because we live in front of the. Yeah, no, you really shouldn't. I don't know about a law per se because that's like a republic act. I'm not sure about that. I doubt it. But there are if you are in a homeowner subdivision, you should have your own bylaws and you can enforce that. Like you can actually get the bylaws, check with the bylaws there about blocking gates because I'm pretty sure it's already written into the standard bylaws of an association that there are certain places you just cannot park, and one of them would be blocking a gate, whether it's a man gate or not. There we go. Mark Beeman has good advice too for our previous question. Get that notarized too. Lorjan. Oh, hi, Lorjan. It's been a while. Probably should have asked before, but there's a regulation to limit headlight brightness. There is, but it is more on the angle of the light. That's the problem, Lorjan. It's not necessarily the brightness per se, as long as it's aimed accordingly. So all lights are calibrated and should be calibrated to be facing down. And so that way, even if it's bright, it's not going to glare you. Problem is sometimes with these aftermarket bulbs, some of them get scattered, and meaning the light gets scattered. They don't calibrate them properly, and that's what blinds people. So not necessarily the wattage per se, but more on the angle of the lights. Now, when it comes to auxiliary lights, I think there are regulations, and the HPG cracked down quite a bit on them. But if they're your standard headlights, it's just the angle of them that is being measured. Hey, Dana's driving, or Dana Escalante is driving a Nissan Kick. Super happy with the unit. Yeah, man, this car has been just awesome. I think it's just one of the best products of in not just this year, in many years. And again, no love away from my MG because I love the MG for different reasons. The Nissan Kicks is a little small for me traveling out of town, etc. I still prefer using the MG HS, doing that. But and the MG is not so bad on gas when you're on the highway. It's just in the city. Obviously, the hybrid is going to completely far better, far better. But when you're on the highway, I'll take the hit in fuel consumption for the extra comfort. What's not matagtag, my MG or the Kicks? The Kicks is a little bit, because it's a small car. Going to Bicol in it with 4 people on board. I remember being in the back for quite a large part of the trip. We would alternate driving, of course, and it was a little. You did feel the road a bit more, but it's acceptable. It's within reason. You're welcome, Lord Jun. Okay. Anyone else before we hit the raffle? Is public transportation. Funnily enough, they're asking for exemption for public transportation, which is absolutely crazy. It's like, look, I agree in suspending NCAP. That was my article this week in the Manila Bulletin. I wrote exactly about that because I was like, this is ridiculous. I mean, we're trying to implement a first world solution over a third world foundation. You cannot do that. You got to have it all. The infrastructure's got to be up. Driver education has got to match up. Road markings, road signs, all of these things need to be done. You can't just jump straight into the 22nd century worth of technology when you still have 19 kopong infrastructure, right? That's what really gets my goat. But to answer your question, yes, there are groups that are fighting for the public transportation not to be included. No, they need to be included. Everyone needs to be included, but I do agree, not right now. Let's just suspend it until they can come up with something better. And another thing is, I'm getting a lot of this feedback from that article about the private companies that have incentive to get the fines. I haven't investigated that, the exact structure of it. But if you do give a private company incentive to get the fines, that's the worst thing you can do. It will completely skew the results. They will skew it in the favor of business. And I don't agree with that. I really agree. I really think that we've got to be very, very fair with this, and it should not be a revenue raising exercise. And this goes from somebody who really wants to see discipline on the road. I really do think we need drastic measures, but it's incorrect to also do it like this. There's a saying where it's better to free 10 guilty men or let 10 guilty men go free than put one innocent man in prison. That's the whole philosophy dating back to ancient Rome when you're dealing with a justice system. And the idea of that is because you need to have systems that protect the innocent. And these things here are victimizing the innocent people. So cannot do that. There are too many cases where it's just not their fault and then they can't. They don't even know. This is the most frustrating part, is they don't know they're going to have a ticket until 3 years later, 2 years later, 1 year later. It really depends on the efficiency of the Philippine Post or whatever system they're using to try to get that out. Also, sometimes the LTO systems are not up to scratch. You got to get that all on the same page. You got to try and test it, you got to pressure test it. You got to make sure that it really is efficient, because once you start doing it as a mainstream thing, oh no, you can't afford loopholes like this. Next, let's have time, I think, for maybe one more, and then we can go straight into raffle. Unless there's a really interesting question after this. Okay, but we'll do tins first. What for you is the best 7-seat family car for safety, comfort, and fuel consumption? 7-seater family car for safety, comfort, and low fuel consumption. I'm not sure what budget you're talking about, but if you're asking me personally, I was very, very happy with my Trailblazer. I still have it. It's a 7-seater. It's a diesel. I think it's good for what it is. I'm sure there are better, more fuel-efficient vehicles out there, but you have to also look at the maintenance and the running costs, the total cost of ownership. I found it was very reasonable with the Trailblazer for what it delivered. I like that. Now, there are bigger cars like there's the Geely Okabanco, which is a hybrid, but it's not a full hybrid. It's how do they call it? Mild hybrid, I think is the term they use. Now, the difference with a mild hybrid and a full hybrid is the motor of the Geely really only runs auxiliary stuff. It doesn't run like the Nissan Kicks where it drives the wheels. This one just takes care of the auxiliary stuff. So you're probably saving, I'm guessing here it's around 5% or so. It's not that big, but it all adds up. So I'm not hating on them because I think anything that adds up. Imagine if you have a thousand Okabancos out there. Well, that's 5% saving times 1,000. That's still saving something. But if you're looking for pure fuel economy, I assume that fuel economy means you don't want to spend. So you have to take in total cost of ownership. Because if, for example, your car does 20 kilometers to the liter, right, as an example, that's great, right? Fuel economy is fantastic. But then it costs you 3 times as much to service that car, then we have a problem. It doesn't even out in the wash, as so to speak. So you have to look at total cost of ownership. So my simple answer for that is any of those efficient diesel 7-seaters like the Fortuner, the Trailblazer, yeah, those do pretty well. The Isuzus also have pretty good fuel mileage for what they are. Good diesel engines in the Isuzus. It's just not as sophisticated as like the other ones. The Terra is also very nice. Okay, next. All right, so let's leave it at that because otherwise we continue all day. And I promised just a Titoclock Light today because I know we have some prizes to give away and we don't have Free Plug Friday today. So yes, the Trailblazer is comfortable to use and economical, very, very. And again, you have to weigh it out for what it does, right? It is it's also a great car for Philippine roads. That's another thing you have to take into account. Other roads are very harsh in cars. So, when you have a car that's purpose-built, pickup platform, it really is built for like utility. Okay, somebody asked where's Rocket? Rocket is coming up live from he's over in the other side right now. Okay, he's got his remote broadcast from his home in Quezon City. So let's check in with Rocket for everybody's favorite time. It is raffle time! I can see him back. Hey, Rocketeer. Oh, look at the face. I think Rocketeer. Okay, Rocket, let him have it. It's been a while, Rocket. This portion's brought to you by Ogawa. I love my Ogawa.
All our sponsors, please.
Okay. Send me the list.
Oh, we sent it on Viber. Rocket sent it on Viber.
Okay, hang on a second. Before we go. Okay, before we go on, we'd like to, of course, thank Malayan Insurance, Petron, Modalite, Ogawa, AutoKid, Lalamove, and Skinaway. Thank you very much. These are what power Titoclock, and without them, we would simply be nothing. We would wander aimlessly through the interwebs. Here we go. Rocket, are you going to get a treat? Oh, the Rocket here. Oh, look at him. Looks like he's lost some weight. Or has he had some of that? What's that treatment we do at Skinaway? The old therapy?
The old therapy.
Looks like he's had a little old therapy. He might need a bit of a wax, though. But anyway, Rocket, everyone's waiting for you. This is the card clear. Are we doing 2 raffles or is it all in one?
2 raffles.
Two separate buttons.
Yes.
2 separate treats. Lucky for Rocket. This is good for about a year, right? This is good for about a year. Looks like it.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
count.
like 60 capsules per box. That's 5 boxes.
That's 300.
That's a lot.
That's a year.
That's a year. Imagine
Yeah.
they're so generous. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, and it does help, you know. I've been taking it every night. Every night I take it before dinner. And next up, Rocketeer.
Treat again.
Look at him. Eat first before work. Look at that.
Shame on you, Rocket.
I don't know what union you fall under, Rocket, but they're very powerful.
Please send a message to his Instagram to claim your prize.
Oh yeah, by the way, your winner has 24 hours to claim your prize, and we ask you to send it to Rocket's Instagram because, well, aside from the fact that he needs a little bit more of a following, he also it's easier to keep track of because if you send it to the main Instagram, that's where we take Free Plug Friday stuff, and if you send it to Facebook, we're also going to get mixed up with the traffic stuff. So this one, it gets straight to us. All right, Rocket, enough of that. Start working.
All right, Rock. Do it, do it. Oh, come on.
Wealthy. Yes, you are indeed now wealthy. We're doing two, right? Two Victor Soyente. Two dash cams. One is well, thank you very much, Rocketeer. You did an outstanding job as always. Highly commended. Thank you, Rock.
Everybody.
We'll see you next week. Once again, we'd like to thank, of course, Malayan Insurance, Petron, Motolite, Ogawa, AutoKid, Lalamove, and Skinave for presenting Titoclock to you every Friday. Thanks also for you guys for tuning in every time. And, excuse me, something I ate. And thank you very much for tuning in. And I hope to see you guys next Friday. We'll do the same thing all over again. We're going to have some pretty special prizes as well for you. So till then, stay safe and be kind to one another. Bye, everyone.
Fancy meeting you in my internet. Couldn't help but notice your smile while everybody else around us is surfing about. Can we just stop and chat a while? Get away from these gray and boring, lonesome days of our quarantine. Early yet to say what lies ahead. It's just the first day of the rest of our lives. Love could be waiting at the end of this quarantine. Let's stop and talk a while. Let's stop and talk a while.